Hi, this is Andy again, and I still like lifting weights.
I lift things up and put them down.
The problem though is that when you're doing something like powerlifting where you're pushing your body to its limits, you can get injured. The good news is that for us natties, the injuries aren't as catastrophic as some people think, and they're also not as common as some people think. So there have been some studies that have shown it's actually has one of the lowest injury rates of sports that people play. You can see soccer is up there. Actually, the worst injury I've had was from soccer when I sprained my ankle and could barely walk for a couple weeks. From powerlifting, I have had some overuse injuries, and I'm going to talk about those today. So more specifically, today I'm going to be talking about things I've had because of squats. I love squats, but they have been kind of beating me up the past couple of years. So the first one, it's pretty much gone away now. I strained my right adductor into my groin area. I was doing acro yoga. My partner got scared and bailed, kind of like this. Except that I was using my leg to hold up her entire weight, and it didn't work too well. So that showed up again a little over a year ago when I was getting ready to max out my squats. And yeah, when the weight got heavy, that started acting up. I actually had to stop and just give up on the squats for that moment, although I was still able to max out my deadlifts and my bench press. Once the weights got lighter again, that was fine. It went away. Hopefully it doesn't come back. Unfortunately, I have also had some issues with my knees from squats. I know my dad says, "Man, don't your knees hurt when you squat like that?" Well, for a while they did. It was after I maxed out just under 2 years ago. I did not get 405. But 10 minutes later, I was able to get 395. And yeah, after that, my knees hurt. Specifically, it was the quadriceps tendon, I believe, under the kneecap on the top side where the quads connect. Yeah, you can see. I didn't really take the time to rehab that like I should have. And eventually, when I started putting more weight on, it would act up. When the weight was lighter, it would feel a little bit better. I tried to run across the gym and photobomb a friend, and they hurt, and I realized, okay, I got to change this. So I started on a different program. I was doing a more hypertrophy work with lower weights, putting some more strain on the muscles was the idea. The problem with that program, though, was that it was having me work at higher RPE than I should be. The RPE is kind of the idea of it is how many reps you have left that you would be able to do if you wanted to do all of them, you can. So every month I would be going up to RPE 9, that's like I could do one more, or RPE 10, setting a new rep max. I shouldn't be doing that more than once or twice a year, to be honest. So eventually that, and also I also had my secondary squat day as doing front squats with the bar in front of you. That puts your knees pretty far out in front of your toes. That's not inherently a bad thing as long as you're used to it. For me, it was just more than my knees could recover from within a week between the higher weights and the poor choice of a secondary squat movement. So now I am doing squats with a lower RPE, both for the top set and for the back off sets. And I have also been using tempo squats, also in the low bar back position, which use a lower weight, but in the position that doesn't put as much strain on my knees. So they've been getting better at a pretty good rate. I have also changed my form a little bit. So when they were at the absolute worst, this is 100 pounds. I could feel my knees a little bit. And when I brought my feet in a little bit, just a few inches, and I was able to do a little bit more weight, it felt about the same on my knees. The idea with that is when you get to heavier weights, your form breaks down a little bit. You shift into the position where you're going to be a little bit stronger. And my knees were caving in a bit. I figured if I bring my stance in, they will cave in less. And for me, that's probably a good thing. So knees have been feeling a lot better. I was able to squat 335 pounds last week, much better than 100. And yesterday I was able to do 315 pounds for a set of 3. I could feel it a little bit in my knee, my left knee, but it's, nothing crazy. As long as I give it a couple days to heal, it should be fine. I also changed my deadlift stance a little bit. I also brought the feet in a little bit and pointed my feet forward a little bit. So that took the strain off of the inside of the knee and put it straight down the middle of my kneecap. That seems to be working better because that tissue is feeling fine. The other thing that I have had a little bit of issue with that's mostly better now is that I did a block of high bar squats where you have the bar up on top of your traps. That's like the trapezius muscle up here. And when I switched back to low bar squats and had not been working on my chest mobility at all, had not been maintaining it, I basically got all of the weight of the bar resting on my hand. So that's going to crank your wrist back. That doesn't feel good. And your elbow is also going to try to rotate. It can't. So I was getting some nerve pain through my ulnar nerve. Pinky was tingling and my wrist hurt a lot. So I was doing the door frame stretch. That opens up your chest. After a couple weeks, that helped a lot. I got wrist wraps to keep my wrists from bending as much. And then eventually, when my wrists started feeling better, I switched from a thumb under the bar to thumb over the bar. So instead of having the bar resting in my hand, cranking it back, now I'm pulling the bar down into me a little bit. And that seemed to make a pretty big difference. My wrists and elbows feel almost completely better now. I'm not doing handstands quite yet, but I can do some other stuff where I put a pretty decent amount of weight in them. So I would say that's pretty well rehabbed. All right, guys, if you have experience with rehabbing an injury, whether it's worked or not, let me know down below. If you liked this, liked hearing about my injuries, let me know. Hit like. All right, thanks, guys. Catch you next time.